Okay, so first things first, this is what we're gonna do. I just want you to grab the bar. And I know some people will go, you don't do it in a squat rack, blah, 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 blah. Well, find an empty squat rack. We're gonna work some frickin' forearms. So what we're gonna do, like I said, this is an empty bar, ins and outs. That's all I'm gonna do. We're gonna drop it down and we're gonna rotate forward. I'm gonna rotate up. So up, in, all right? So all we're trying to do is first make sure those forearms, we're getting a green light. Just this alone will absolutely burn up your forearms. Well, it's only the bar. It's not a big heavy weight. I don't give a shit. Do 50 of these and you'll notice it in your forearms. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get the blood pumped in there. Right now, I always do this after biceps. So all the blood's up here, right? All the blood's in the big guns. You've been gripping, you've been doing your thing, but you haven't been putting the focus on the forearms. So let's make sure we get a green light, there's no impingements, and nothing's bothering it. All right, so step one. Let's move on to step two. All right, that's round two. Now what we're doing that, same as round one. You're not gonna know what kind of weight you can handle. So this is the fun portion of it. This is you discovering how strong your forearms are, right? You're having a starting point. You're learning your starting point. And from that, we'll be able to go up from there. I will say this, start light, work your way up, okay? So at that point, you can throw a pair of 10s, see if you can make it through and get 12 to 15. If all of a sudden you can't get that full rotation up as you're going, you can't get that rotation up, and don't worry about a little bit of this swinging, you're moving the forearms, okay? Don't worry about getting too much. I mean, if you're sitting here, looking like a monkey fucking a football, well, obviously stop doing it. But if there's a little bit of, forward, up, this is still helping getting you, this rotation, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be like a damn robot, you don't have to do it. So go up a little heavier, 3 sets, 12 to 15. Now again, this is gonna be a very basic setup for you guys that are just trying to start off and build some forearms. Keep in mind, you go through this whole thing that I'm gonna lay out for you, you will build some nice forearms. There's other things that I do and we can do later on in the future. If you guys want, hit me down in the comments, I'll touch base on those. But I'm giving you a really nice forearm regimen that's gonna work everything in the forearm, all right? So stay tuned and let's rock and roll. Oh. Whew. Whew. All right. Now, if you noticed, I want a wider grip. Pinky on rings. This works for me, for my shoulder width, all that stuff. Main thing you gotta remember is your first sets of the ins and outs, you were here. You were keeping everything real tight. Inside shoulder width, more than shoulder width. With these, I'm running out pinkies. Why am I doing that? Okay, well, if you take your hand and you look at it, hey, hi, how you doing, hand? Hey, high five. If you roll in and all of a sudden you start feeling muscle-wise, where am I hitting? You're gonna be hitting more here. Not so much in here, I mean, it's tight. But if you think about it, you flex, right? We're feeling this portion, so we're feeling that portion of it. Well, when I start to rotate, then I'm working more this mass, right? So think about it, my hands are here, I'm starting to rotate outwards. I'm taking my hand and I'm rotating it, right? So at that point, I'm starting to focus more on that hanging portion, that hanging meat potato portion of the form, what gives it that bowling pin size, this size of it. I mean, that right there. This is what's gonna help bring it around. Go heavier than your ins and outs. For the ins and outs, I was doing like 135 and it felt pretty good. Well, now I'm up to 205. And I'm not saying you guys need to make this big of a leap. Do whatever you can manage. Start light, work your way up, find out where the strength of your forearms are, okay? So again, at that point, I'm doing pinkies on it. I'm not using my thumbs, and I'm working on just cupping. So all I'm trying to do is just cup this portion up. And there's going to be a little bit of body English, you know, when I'm doing it. I'm kind of doing, I might even be doing a little bit of a calf lift, but I'm just trying to work that section. You know, I'm not going any heavier than this because at the end I can already tell it's starting to get a little sloppy. At that point, take your ego out of the check. Take your ego out of the check. Put your ego in check. Take your ego out of things and do them right, okay? You know, then you might as well just stand there and do holds. We're not doing holds. I want this portion. We're working this section, okay? So I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this. You guys wanted to know how to get some big old frickin' bowling pin turkey leg forearms. This is the video for you, okay? Thanks for sticking with me. Let's move on, all right? Hey, you guys, thank you so much for sticking with the video so far. And I tell you what, at the end of this, we'll do a little bit of measuring, to see where we're at, all right? So make sure you stick around for the end of the video, and we'll get moving on that as well. And if you don't remember to hit that subscribe button, well then, I'm going to hold my breath until I turn blue, and then you're just going to have to just... Yeah. So that one, get yourself a cable machine, get yourself a lat pull down machine, whatever works, obviously. Handle that you're going to want to use. At that point, whatever is a comfortable grip, okay? So all I'm doing is, for me, I think of it like a sleeper hold. I'm here, move around, and I'm just cupping. It's what works for me, it's what's comfortable for me. Main thing, hold it tight to your body, and the only thing that moves is this. That's it. We're not doing this. We're not doing fucking sit-ups. We're not, none of that shit. We're right here, okay? So if your hand's moving perfectly sideways this way compared to this way, I'm not worried about that, okay? I know there's different variations when we're over here. I want you to be comfortable, all right? And we're just pumping. When you don't have anything left, all right, I want you to try to get 3 to 5 more. So you're going to pull down as far as you can, help it go. At that point, try to resist it going back. So it's an overload. Forearms and calves, my opinion, work really, really well on overload because you're working them every day. They're just used to getting the shit kicked out of them every day. So certain muscle groups react very well to that. For me, forearms, calves, that works really well for that. So this again is going to be high reps. We're just packing the blood in. You know, that was more of a little bit more of the heavier side. This again is what I would consider a very basic run through of doing forearms. We're working every inch of that forearm, okay? There's so many different variations of all these exercises I'm going to show you, but these are the basics and the fundamentals that will get you to a good sized forearm. So here we go. We're going to move on to the next thing, and it will be it. So again, you have 2 things over here, 1 thing over here, and the final one in just 1 second. variations. If you can't find a dumbbell that you can make up like that, like a 15-pound bar, even if it's got weights on both sides, like some of the racks that you guys see that you use for curling or some other things, grab it. That's fine. Hand position. Mess with your hand position. As you can tell, I am not even close to being halfway. So, lock it in. There we go. Okay. Again, both of them obviously work the same way. We all worry about grip strength of our forearm strength, pulling in and rotating up. But one of the things that a lot of people neglect or forget about is there's also all kinds of little muscles that are in there to help move side to side. Obviously, after just seeing the two examples that I gave you, why it works. What this is going to work. When we're rolling inward, obviously, we're going to be working this whole section of the forearm, right? So, and then when we're doing wrist rolls and reverse curls, we're working this portion of it. Well, what works this portion of it? What works that portion of it, right? You don't see me. So at that point, that's going to help build that section of the forearms. So when we're trying to increase forearm size, it's not only here, or here. Well, we want to hit the outside. Like I said, it's an umbrella, wraps all the way around. So those are the two variations, again, of what I was showing you. Now, all this stuff is higher reps, like 12 to 15, about 4 sets on each thing. The ins and outs, the outer grip to where you're just cupping and pulling. What we did on the cables, same thing. It's going to be about 4 sets of, I did almost 20. I did do 20 on a couple. So that was 4 sets of 20, and then back over to this. This is my maintenance for forearms. When I feel good, I go harder, and I add in some other stuff and stick to the channel. You guys will see a little bit more of those things that we do. But this is a beautiful tutorial on how to start building some forearms. Start getting some frickin' bowling pins, right? That was the name of the game. That's why you clicked on this, to see what's going on. So check this stuff out, give it a try, see how it works, and let's go from there. Hey, throw it down in the comments of how big you got. Oh, that's right. We're going to touch base on some measurements. Well, let's get the tape. Hey, you guys, I'm glad you made it to the end of the video. Thank you very much for sticking it out. Really do appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to do a measurement at the end of this thing. So, got my measuring tape. Here we go. Let's start a leaderboard. Hopefully you guys out there will knock me down, but we got to have a starting point, right? All right. So, let's see where we're at. Now I can, take this and I can, pull it real tight into the body and try to get as much of my fat as I possibly can into the equation. But I want to leave this out. So, as you guys can see without me stepping on the fucking thing, I don't know if I'm close enough. There, maybe I can do that instead. We are at, well, I'm at 16, but I don't know if you guys can actually see this or not. All right, see if I can get it up a little bit higher here. There you go. So we are at 16. Whew, after a good forearm pump. So again, see if you can beat that 16 mark. I hope you can. Put it down in the comments. Show me what you guys got. And again, This is just a basic run through to get you started. There might be certain portions of this that you notice that you're lacking. That it's like, hey man, I noticed, I'm stronger in this than what I am in here. All right, we'll work on the parts that you're lacking at. So again, thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for, showing up and showing a little bit of love to the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, and we will catch you guys on another video.